You can search for glycans by specifying their chemical features or biological content. Another tutorial describes how to find a glycan if you already know its GlyTouCan accession number. In many cases, you may not have this information, but you will have other information about the glycan or collection of glycans that makes them interesting to you. To begin, select Explore, then Glycan from the navigation menu, then select the Advanced Search tab. This brings up the glycan search page. Since you do not know the GlyTouCan accession number, this field near the top of the page should be left blank, and you should enter information in the other search fields on this page. The information you specify in each form field defines a subset of glycans in the Glygen data store. Filling in more than one field will instruct Glygen to find all glycans that simultaneously fulfill all of the criteria that you specify. For example, you can search for all glycans within a specified size range, criterion 1, that are also found in a specified organism, criterion 2. This corresponds to the logical AND operation. That is, only glycans that meet both criterion 1 and criterion 2 will be found by the search. It is very important to note that increasing the number of filtering criteria increases the likelihood that no matches will be found. In some cases, this is due to the fact that the criteria are mutually exclusive, such as a search for glycans with a molecular mass greater than 1,500 Daltons, but that have fewer than 5 sugar residues. However, sometimes no matches will be found simply due to the fact that Glygen does not contain all possible information. For example, if Glygen has no information about the glycosylation of a particular glycoprotein, then a search for glycans using the glycoprotein as a filtering criterion will not return any results. Let's begin by searching for a glycan according to its molecular mass. The non-isotopic mass section allows you to do this by manipulating slider bars or by typing in the minimum and maximum mass for the interesting glycans. Only glycans within this mass range will be returned when the search is invoked. The mass limits can quickly and approximately be set using the slider bars, but a precise range can also always be set by typing in exact numbers. Clicking on a Search Glycan button at this point will return a list of glycans in that mass range. At this time, the time this tutorial was made, using the search terms described as above will return a list of 2,551 glycan structures. The information content of this list is described in the Finding a Glycan Using its GlyTouCan Accession Number tutorial. Manually looking through this list would take time and would be time consuming, so you may want to limit the scope of your search using other search terms. To do so, click on the Modify Search button to return to the Glycan search page. The software remembers the values you had previously entered. Now you can modify or enter additional search terms. For example, if you know the number of sugar residues in the glycans you are looking for, you can enter this information into the Number of Sugars section. Here you can select the minimum and maximum number of sugar residues in the glycan by manipulating slider bars or typing in these values. The last search returned glycans with from 5 to 11 residues, but you may want to limit the search to glycans with from 7 to 10 residues. Be careful. At this point, you select a range for the number of sugars that is incompatible with the selected mass range. No results will be returned. This more limited search returned 1,831 glycans. This list is still probably too long to read, so click on the Modify Search button again to further limit the results. Let's say you are most interested in human N glycans. You can enter this information into the organism and glycan type fields. Clicking on the Search Glycan button now returns a list containing 285 glycans. To further limit this result, click the Modify Search button. Suppose you are most interested in so-called hybrid N glycans. You can add this restriction to your search by selecting hybrid from the glycan subtype pull-down, and then clicking Search Glycan again. This returns a list of only 19 glycans. Let's pare down this list a bit more. Click the Modify Search button. Say you are interested in whether the glycans in your list are attached to a particular glycoprotein, for example, an elastase called CELA3B. This has a uniprot accession P08861. So type that into the uniprot accession field and click the Search Glycan button. The result is a single glycan with the GlyTouCan accession number G53962WT. Although only one glycan is in the list, it may be informative to click the Modify Search button again at this point to look at the glycans from a different perspective. Remove the text from the uniprot accession field. Removing this filter will make the list longer. Suppose you have learned that the enzyme called ST3-gal3 is implicated in the biosynthesis of the glycans you are studying. Enter that into the biosynthetic enzyme field and click the Search Glycan button again. This returns a different list of containing only one glycan, which bears a sialic acid that has been transferred to the glycan by the ST3-gal3 enzyme.